He walked in just in time to see his wife push his daughter down the stairs. I mean, just think about that for a second. Not a stranger, not some angry neighbor, but the woman he'd trusted to help heal his family, the woman he'd loved enough to let back into his life after burying the first half of his soul. You know what I mean? He wasn't supposed to come home early that day. If he'd stopped for gas, missed a light, anything, he would have walked in on nothing but silence and a story already rewritten by someone else. But fate or guilt, or maybe just Zara's quiet voice that morning, asking, "Daddy, can you come home early?" pulled him back. And what he found waiting at the top of those stairs, that split his world open just like that. He thought he'd married a kind woman, someone who could maybe stitch some gentle back into his days. But now, standing in the hallway with his briefcase still warm from the car, all he could hear was the thud of his daughter's small body hitting the floor. The kind of sound you never forget, even if you'd give up everything to unhear it. Zara, she's 11, old enough to have lost more than most people twice her age, young enough to still hold on a hope that love can fix things. She locked eyes with her father the moment she fell. A silent scream stuck between them, her arms flailing through the empty air, reaching for help, for forgiveness, for something she'd never find at the bottom of those stairs. 3 years earlier, her mother died on a Saturday, so quiet you'd swear the world was holding its breath. No drama, no warning, just a slip in the bathroom, a thud on the tile, the kind of everyday accident that tears a family into before and after. Amaka had been the heart of their little world, soft-spoken, honey-brown eyes that glinted gold in the sun, braids thick as rope, laughter that danced through rainstorms. She wrote, "You're loved," always on sticky notes, and hid them in Zara's lunchbox, made pancakes on Saturdays, sang songs at bedtime, kept their home stitched together with little rituals, the kind you don't even notice until they're gone. Her husband, Kola, was a quiet man. Finance guy, good with numbers, not so great with grief. After Amaka died, he moved through the house like a shadow, shirts wrinkled, lights left on, dinner burned, voice hollow. Zara understood the way kids do not in words, but in the shape of silence. She stopped singing. She curled up on her mother's pillow, inhaled the scent until it faded. Kola, he buried his sobs deep, only letting them out at night, alone, apologizing to a sleeping child for things he didn't know how to name. He couldn't say Amaka's name for nearly a year, couldn't throw out her toothbrush, couldn't open her closet. Everyone said he should move on. But how do you move on when every inch of your house is haunted? Still, life keeps moving. It wears you down until, one day, you look up and realize your daughter's brushing her own hair badly. She's asking about periods, bras, the stuff dads can't quite answer. She lingers by the fence at recess, watching other mothers tie shoes, wipe noses. And suddenly, the ache inside you says, maybe she needs more than you. Maybe she needs a woman's gentleness, someone who remembers to buy the good shampoo and knows when a hug is better than a lecture. But the thought of remarrying feels like a betrayal. Amaka's photos still line the walls. Her handwriting's still pressed into your Bible cover. How do you let anyone else in? He wrestled with it for months until the morning Zara came downstairs with a scraped arm and said, "It's okay, Daddy. If Mommy was here, she'd kiss it better, but I know you're busy." That broke him, plain and simple. That night, he decided to try. For her, not for him. And that's how Nneka entered their lives. Nneka was calm, smart, poised. She'd lost her own mother young, understood grief, or said she did. She promised, "I won't replace her mother, but I'll help her heal." It wasn't some movie romance, more like two survivors sharing a raft. They introduced Zara slowly. She didn't protest, didn't cry, but that's what got missed. She grew quieter, smiled less, began to disappear in her own house. Her drawings left out her mother, then herself. But Kola was desperate for hope. He mistook silence for peace. They married, small ceremony, church, hymns instead of dancing, Zara in white lace, hand in hand with her father. There's a photo from that day where Nneka kisses Zara's cheek. In that frame, Zara's eyes are empty. Still, things seem fine. Nneka cooked, helped with homework, showed up for PDA. Kola tried to believe they were healing, maybe even starting again. He missed the bruises, the nervous laughter, The way Zara sat quietly when Nneka was near. When he asked, Nneka called Zara clumsy. The stories fit if you wanted them to. The day it all broke was a regular Tuesday. Kola walked in, briefcase in hand, in time to see Nneka at the top of the stairs, Zara halfway down. They argued something about shoes, about "you're not my mom," and then Nneka's hand moved. Not a wild shove, just a gesture, but enough. Zara's foot missed. Gravity did the rest. That thud again. Silence after. Paramedics. Hospital lights. Zara conscious, bruised, scared. Kola rode in the ambulance, promising over and over, "I'll fix this. I'll protect you." Nneka arrived, makeup smudged, saying it was an accident. She didn't know Kola had seen. She was already spinning the story, already building a safety net out of lies. But he'd seen the truth, and now nothing could ever fit back together. A social worker arrived, protocol. Questions, careful notes, and when she asked Zara, "Did she ever hurt you before?" "Just once," Zara said, but that was enough. Enough for paperwork. Enough for anger, so deep it made Kola's bones ache. Back home, the house felt toxic. Even the lavender polish on the tables made him gag. He found a box in the attic, photos of Zara. Some recent, some older, all unframed, and a notebook. Nneka's handwriting, lines twisted with pain. "I try to love her, but something in me coils when she enters the room. I feel invisible, like I'm feeding someone else's ghost." Pages darkened with resentment. Underneath, a draft of an email accusing Zara of manipulation, never sent. The mask slipped. Behind it was something broken, dangerous. He checked the security footage. There was the staircase, Nneka's hand, Zara's fall. The evidence was final. At her cousin's house, Nneka watched the video in his car. She didn't cry, just shrank smaller and smaller. She whispered, "I thought she was going to hit me first." He said, "She's a child." Her tears came at last, messy, exhausted. "I wasn't trying to kill her," she said. "But you didn't care if she broke," he replied. Silence. Two people realizing there's nothing left to say. A courtroom, then. Judges' glasses, wooden benches. Nneka confessed to the push, to jealousy, to being haunted by ghosts she never faced. "I tried to love her. I swear I tried. But I brought parts of myself here I never healed." She asked only one thing, that Zara be allowed to forget her. Guilty. 18 months, with therapy, psychiatric evaluation. No one cheered. Justice is cold comfort when family's already lost. Kola and Zara went home to an empty house. He cooked, painted her room lavender, read her stories at night. Healing came slow. Nightmares, awkward dinners, laughter that returned one feather at a time. Sometimes he caught himself staring at their old wedding photo, wondering if anything had ever been true. Sometimes he found new hope, like the day a stranger in the hospital recognized Amaka's eyes in Zara and said, "I knew your mother. She was my best friend." And just like that, the past offered something gentler than pain. In the end, it wasn't the fall that broke Zara. It was the silence that came before and after. But silence isn't the end of every story. Sometimes the bravest thing a parent can do is to truly see their child, not just when they're smiling, but when they're quietly hurting. Sometimes the most loving act is walking away from someone you once promised forever to, because safety is stronger than vows. Kola made a choice. He believed his eyes, stood by his daughter, broke the cycle of silence. But questions remain. What really happened the day Amaka died? Could answers lie deeper in Nneka's past, or in secrets still hidden? Now, let me ask you, as someone watching, have you ever ignored a red flag because you wanted something to work? Have you ever chosen peace over truth and paid the price? If your child cried in silence, would you hear it? Let me know in the comments. Your voice could be the one that helps someone else break their own silence. If this story moved you, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this isn't over yet, and what happens next will change everything.
Xin chào các bạn, mình là Trinh, mình phụ trách viết content. Trên đây là những công việc của mình, là mình lên mạng xã hội.
It is cold, yeah. Next one? All right. Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys have any trouble, let somebody know. Please.
After the tree to hold on to. Yeah. Use the fence.